Hey look, the English version came! Don't worry, no pony panic. I'm not turning my channel into a Spanish-only channel. Or even, I'm not sure about turning it into a bilingual channel. I just wanted to make one video in Spanish and see how the viewers reacted. You know, if any actual Spanish speakers started watching my channel or not. But I'm gonna keep doing videos in English. Don't worry about this. Keep watching me. Don't unsubscribe. So, today I want to talk about My Little Pony Generation 1. Some pony in the comments of a previous video asked me to do a video reviewing My Little Pony Generation 1. See, I respond to the comments. So, I've seen a part of G1, and I have my opinions about it. I'm going to admit now that I haven't watched the entire series. I've seen the 2 specials, the movie, the first 10 episodes of the show, and a few other episodes here and there. I suppose that says something about my opinion, that I didn't finish the show. But I don't hate it, or I wouldn't have watched so much. What I've seen adds up to like 5 hours. That's not nothing. First, I want to talk about the music and the animation. For the most part, I like the music. In past decades, all the music in movies and shows was instrumental. I'm talking about the background music, not the songs. I am a musician. I don't know why they stopped using real instruments in movies, but when I hear bassoons, violins, and trumpets in shows of music, it makes me happy. My feelings on the songs are more mixed. Some of them are fantastic! But many of them I would never listen to in my spare time. The problem is all the songs are sung in the characters' voices, and some of them have ridiculous voices. This is a problem which affects more than the songs. It makes the whole series a little more cringy. The animation has a similar problem. At times the movements appear too silly or even lazy on the part of the animators. It doesn't move fluidly. There's also a problem of image quality. The version I found was like 380p. I don't know if there's a better quality version or if the videos only exist as copies from old video cassettes that can't have better quality. But despite those problems, the art in itself is quite pretty. I've always preferred the old toon-shaded 2D hand-drawn animations over the modern 3D CGI animations. Like with music, I don't know why they switched to the way they do it now. In G1, the water, the colors, and the backgrounds just look better than in G4, which always lacked in detail, in my opinion. The art certainly looks much better than most modern animated movies, but I won't say it looks better than the G5 movie. The level of detail, attention, care, and passion they're putting into that movie compensates for my preference of the older style. I also like the character designs, the ponies in particular. They look much more like horses than in G4. They also act more like horses. From ponytails onward, the creators have been extremely lazy with making the ponies quadrupeds. They have no sense of how a horse is able to walk or what a hoof can and can't do. I fear that G5 might suffer from the same problem. G1 wasn't perfect, but it was better. One problem that both G1 and G3 have is that the ponies look too much like toys. They are bulkier than they should be, and they do not pass the silhouette test. Also, the faces of the ponies in G4 were more expressive than in G1, but overall, the G1 ponies look pretty good to me. So then, overall, I like the music and the animation of G1. They could be better, but they are good for what is really just an advertisement for little girls' toys. But what matters more to me is the writing. I am a musician, but I am also a writer. The writing will make or break a show. And any writer with their salt knows that the most important part of writing is the characters. What do I think of the characters of G1? Well, it's time to talk about Megan. The most shocking thing about watching G1 after Friendship is Magic is the presence of humans. Their place in the world of the ponies is not clear. There are some humans who are native to the world of the ponies, like Prince Scorpan or the witches. But Scorpan is the prince of what exactly? We don't see a kingdom of humans in Ponyland unless they appear in an episode I haven't seen. At the least, the ponies are surprised to see Megan. They've never seen anything like her before. But that's not consistent. because there are other humans in this world. It gets more confusing because Megan had never seen a pony like Firefly who could talk and fly and had pastel coloration. It seems that Firefly simply flew to where Megan lives. Why then are there not airplanes from the world of Megan that fly over Ponyland? How is it that Firefly flew to Megan when nobody in either world had done so before? Things started to make more sense in the end of Flutter Valley. A rainbow appeared that guided Morning Glory to the Williams farm. Now it had a sense of magic. There is a magical connection between Ponyland and the human world, and the Williams farm is the wardrobe. I see what they tried to do. The Williams are like the Pevensies of Narnia. And like the Pevensies, the Williams are the main characters and the heroes of the magical land. But the Pevensies are my favorite characters of Narnia, while the Williams are just a bother. What makes the difference? Basically, the Williams are boring. Danny and Molly have very basic personalities that never interested me. Megan doesn't have a personality. She is the cliché hero, like Harry Potter or Rey Skywalker. She's a blank slate. I suppose the point is that little girls can self-insert themselves over Megan and go on a magical adventure in Ponyland. But it is condemning to have such a boring main character. I don't like Harry Potter and the new Star Wars trilogy for this same reason. And Megan really is the main character. No pony seems to have so much screen time as her. A failed main character is the biggest error a writer can make, and it can completely destroy an entire story. But the Williams aren't the only characters in G1. Actually, there are a lot of characters, like, a lot. And the show avoids the mistake which Lauren Faust criticized in so many girls' shows, a mistake which G3 of My Little Pony was largely guilty. The characters do not spend all their time giggling and throwing tea parties. Morning Glory is not the same as Honeysuckle. Fizzy is not the same as Gusty. Firefly is not the same as Wind Whistler. They have arguments, conflicts, and distinct ways of thinking. If the pony characters of G1 have a weakness, it's that there are too many of them. I can't remember all their names. Other ponies are always appearing, so I don't get to know any one pony very well. Even my favorite ponies like Wind Whistler, Firefly, and Honeysuckle never reach the same level of development as the main six or even many of the secondary characters of G4. Wind Whistler is notable as best pony. G4 has the problem of glorifying a certain type of friendship at the expense of others. Almost every pony is extremely expressive and emotional, and their version of friendship is very extroverted. The episode A Friend Indeed touches on the idea that there are different types of friendships, but it really isn't fully explored until Starlight starts to make her own friends. The episode with her and Maud delivers basically the same message as Wind Whistler's episode, Crunch the Rock Dog. The fact that G4 didn't get to the same level of diversity of opinions and personalities as G1 until its 7th season speaks in favor of G1 and of Wind Whistler. Another strength of G1 is its use of fantasy. It was magical, innovative, almost revolutionary. Girls' shows of that time were about going to school, making friends, and giggling. My Little Pony was a rare thing with terrifying villains, magic rocks, and spells. Its world wasn't as detailed, original, or consistent as the world of G4, but it was good in its time. But the credit of this innovation can't go to the series, but rather the toys. When they made ponies with pastel colors, marks, wings, and horns, they created a fantasy. The world that little girls imagined with the toys was at least as grand and magical as what they portrayed in the show. The show simply took advantage of the innovation of the toys. Another weakness of the show is that there's too much focus on the danger the villains present to the ponies. Almost every episode, someone tries to ruin the little ponies' lives, and there's not much time to slow down and enjoy life. It's actually a really dark show. Maybe this is more true of the parts I've seen. As the show progressed, there must have been times when they slowed down and told smaller stories. But even the shorter stories had danger, like Crunch the Rock Dog. The result is that the world doesn't feel like such a magical place, but rather a place of nightmares that I hope the little ponies can escape. The show would benefit from a little more slice of life. There's also very little time to focus on the characters because so much focus is on the plot, and often the ponies don't get to do anything. In the end of Flutter Valley, every one of their many escape attempts ended in failure to the point of being dull and repetitive, until Megan showed up. There are other things I liked about the show. Spike is treated better in G1 than in the first few seasons of G4, and despite the dark tone, there are a few magical and fun moments, like when Morning Glory converted Bumble to team friendship through the power of song. G1 has a better balance between Earth Ponies, Pegasi, and Unicorns, because unicorn magic is more limited, which, as a bonus, makes it more creative in my opinion. But there's another weakness I haven't mentioned. The witches. Oh, I hate them! They're boring, irritating, and they have so much screen time. They dominate the movie, more than the little ponies or even Megan. And I hate every minute, every song they have. There are other annoying characters, but none of them are so important like the witches. So then, what do I think of G1 overall? Well, I've said various positive and negative things. I didn't enjoy it enough to watch every episode, and it's not an age thing, because I've watched much older and cheaper shows. But I am also very critical, and I've quit shows faster than this. It's possible that I could come back to continue or finish the show if I desire. More importantly, Friendship is Magic could not exist without G1. I don't believe the other generations had quite so much influence in G4 as G1 did. G1 is a worthy predecessor. It has good qualities which inspired the creators of G4. We cannot ignore the contributions of G1 in the grand history of Pony. So there it is, I finally did the English version of this video. I kind of had to, because when the music video for the G5 song Glowing Up came out, I was like, I have to make a video on this. But I felt like I really couldn't until I finished this. So there, now I finished it. Boom. Just stay tuned, because here comes another video about that song, Glowing Up.